Mojtaba reminds Trump who's the dominant player at the world's most critical oil choke point. Battle for Hormuz over, with Tehran signaling it still holds the strongest leverage. IRGC lays down Hormuz laws, warning global shipping to follow rules set by Iran's security forces. Mojtaba using Hormuz trump card to strengthen Tehran's hand ahead of a final peace agreement. IRGC Navy warned ships to use only Iran-approved maritime routes while transiting the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. The force said any transit outside officially designated shipping corridors is prohibited, according to Press TV. In a June 25 statement, the IRGC described the use of unauthorized routes as both unacceptable and potentially dangerous. The Navy said all vessels must coordinate with Iranian authorities before entering or transiting the waterway. The warning came days after Chief Negotiator Bagher Ghalibaf pledged what he called a new reality in Hormuz. Iran's parliament speaker said the crucial shipping lane would never return to its pre-war operating conditions. The issue of Hormuz restrictions remains one of the most sensitive unresolved matters, following the U.S. Iran Memorandum of Understanding. The agreement signed by Washington and Tehran seeks to halt the cycle of escalation, confrontation, and retaliation. Under the MOU, Iran agreed to facilitate commercial shipping through the corridor during a 60-day implementation period. However, Tehran has repeatedly stressed that safe passage remains conditional on coordination with Iranian authorities. The latest IRGC warning reinforces Iran's intention to strictly enforce those requirements and navigation conditions. Iran has installed its heaviest ever offshore oil platform in the Persian Gulf, a move that underscores both its technical capacity and its determination to work around sanctions pressure. The new P4 platform, weighing about 6,200 tons, was deployed at the Rishadat oil field roughly 90 kilometers south of Lavin Island in the Gulf. Officials say the structure was fully designed and built inside Iran, highlighting domestic engineering and manufacturing despite years of US-led sanctions restricting foreign technology. The P4 is expected to boost Rishadat's crude output by about 35,000 barrels per day, adding a significant new stream to Iran's offshore production. In addition, the platform can inject around 80,000 barrels per day of water into the reservoir, a key technique used to maintain pressure and sustain current production levels over time. Iranian engineers used a complex float-over installation method to position the massive topside on its base, reflecting growing expertise in advanced offshore construction techniques. Experts note that U.S. sanctions delayed the project by limiting access to specialized equipment and know-how, stretching timelines and increasing reliance on local solutions. Iranian officials argue that completing the platform shows the country can adapt and ultimately defeat sanctions pressure by building up its own industrial capabilities. Since 2018, Tehran has increasingly leaned on domestic firms and engineers for energy development, from drilling and platform construction to subsea systems. The Rishadat upgrade represents a major boost to Iran's offshore oil sector, expanding capacity just as diplomatic conditions start to ease. Iranian oil exports have also climbed to a new high in the days following Tehran's recent deal with the United States, suggesting the country aims to capitalize quickly on any opening in the market. According to tanker trackers, Iran exported nearly 36 million barrels of crude oil within a span of only 6 days. Since June 15, Tehran has reportedly accelerated shipments after Washington eased selected restrictions on Iranian oil exports. Another 36 million barrels of Iranian crude reportedly remain at sea, awaiting delivery to international buyers. The figures suggest Iran could rapidly ramp up exports if regional tensions continue to ease in the coming weeks. Iran's oil shipments had previously fallen to their lowest levels in 6 years amid the impact of America's Hormuz blockade. In a fresh diplomatic and economic victory for Tehran, Washington has temporarily eased sanctions on Iran's oil sector for 60 days. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the limited sanctions relief measure on June 22. Under the arrangement, Iran can temporarily produce, transport and sell crude oil and petroleum products until August 21. Bessent stated that the decision was taken in light of ongoing negotiations between Washington and Tehran. In return, Iran has pledged to keep the Strait of Hormuz open and accessible for international shipping traffic. The U.S. Treasury Secretary said, and I quote, In line with the ongoing productive talks in Switzerland, Iran has committed to free and open transit in the Strait of Hormuz, and to permit International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors into their country. As part of the framework, the Treasury has issued a temporary 60-day general license authorizing the production, delivery, and sale of Iranian oil, end quote. Experts warn that Iran's growing oil windfall could provide Tehran with resources to rapidly rebuild its ballistic missile network. Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance claimed that negotiations with Iran have achieved what he described as momentous progress.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.